Good day, class. In the previous video, we have studied the definition of Yin and Yang. We also understood that we use the Yin and Yang theory to categorize all objects in the world. In this video, we are going to study the content of the Yin and Yang theory. What kinds of characters does Yin and Yang have? And how to apply these characters in our practice. There are two characters of Yin and Yang, the absoluteness of Yin and Yang and the relativity of Yin and Yang. From the previous video, we understood that we categorize everything into two categories, either Yin or Yang. For example, inside and outside, left and right, sky and ground or the earth, day and night, hot or cold. As you can see, we put everything, two opposite objects into these two categories. From this point of view, it seems that the Yin and Yang, the nature of Yin and Yang is absolutely different. Once the nature of Yin and Yang has been defined, it will never be changed. For example, the water compared with the fire, the water is Yin. No matter how weak the fire is, the water is still Yin. Even the weak fire still Yang. No matter how much water you have, the water still Yin. For example, here we got a very little amount of water compared with the fire. When comparing the fire, the water is Yin. When compared with the fire, even here, from a match, very weak fire, the water still Yin, the weak fire still Yang. Even when we compare with the water in the ocean, a lot of water, the fire still Yang, the water still Yin. So from this point of view, it seems that the Yin and Yang, once they have been defined, they're absolutely different. So the absoluteness of Yin and Yang, once it has been defined, it will never change. Yin is Yin, Yang is Yang. So from this point of view, if it seems that there's a clear line that's between Yin and Yang. That's the absoluteness of Yin and Yang. However, this is not complete. There's another characters of Yin and Yang. The relativity of Yin and Yang includes the following three aspects: mutual transformation of Yin and Yang, Yin-Yang within Yin-Yang, differences due to different objects. Firstly, the mutual transformation of Yin and Yang. From the absoluteness of Yin and Yang, we understood that the Yin and Yang will never be changed. Once the nature of the objects has been defined as Yin or Yang, they will be Yin or Yang. For example, compared with the water and fire, no matter how much water you have, no matter how hot the water is, the water is Yin, the fire is Yang. So that's the absoluteness. However, the Yin and Yang, they can develop into each other. So there's no clear line between Yin and Yang. That's why we say the mutual transformation of Yin and Yang. How do you know the Yin and Yang can develop into each other? For example, when we see the day and night, in 24 hours, the day and night, from the day into the night, from the daytime to the nighttime, there's no clear line in between how to define a daytime and nighttime. Also, the development from the day and night, there's no line to break them. The day is yang. From yang of the day can develop into night, which is yin. From the night, it can develop into the day. From yin can develop into yang automatically. So from this point of view, the mutual transformation of yin and yang, yin can develop into yang, yang can also develop into yin. Another phenomenon we can see is from the seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. From spring, summer, which are yang, develop into autumn and winter. We also need to keep in mind that the spring, autumn, summer, and winter, these terms are defined by human. So from the nature, there's no seasons. They just develop as the time goes, from yang to yin, from yin back to yang. So that's where the circles come from, the yin yang fish. Why it is a circle? Why is it a fish? This fish, we don't have the image that can move. This fish is not stay there together. It not stay there static. It's actually keep moving, this fish. Yin into yang, yang into yin. But when the yin and yang keep moving, it's not moving in circles. It is actually developed into each other. So that's the mutual transformation of yin and yang. They can develop into each other, and this is the law of yin and yang. That's the transformation of yin and yang. Also the transformation of the life. They need to develop. The yin and yang within yin and yang. As we said, that's the day develop into the night, from yang develop into yin, which means we said the day is yang, the night is yin. For example, 12 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at noon, and 18 in the early evening. So let's use these four as the timeline. Just in general, we consider the daytime as 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So we make here, we divide from here to here, that's the daytime. From 6 o'clock to the second morning, 6 o'clock, we consider as nighttime. So this part is yang. This is the daytime, that's the yang. And the other part is yin, that's the nighttime. However, something happens at 12 o'clock. What has changed there? From 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock at noon in the morning, that's yang in the yang. From the 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the early evening, that's yin in yang. So when we see half of the circle, the daytime, when we see from 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock, when we compare here, this is yang, we have defined already because that's the daytime compared with the night. From 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the afternoon, that's yang. However, in the morning, that's yang in yang. In the afternoon, that's yin in yang. Yin. This part is yang. And also when you see from here, from yin to the next morning, that's how they develop. The initial yin started. Again, we comes back to the yin yang fish. That's 12 o'clock and noon. The yin started slight accumulation, and then to here it changed to the dominance, and then at 12 o'clock reach its peak. From 12 o'clock and in the evening, the yang started to accumulate. The yang started to accumulate. From 12 o'clock, more and more, and until 12 o'clock and noon, it reached its peak. So that's where the yin and yang fish comes from. The yin and yang fish represents the developments, the transformation, and yin yang within yin yang. So as we have discussed this, from the day we can see there are different yin and yang. And then when we see from the yin yang fish, see from this fish, this is black, and here also black. And then previously we said the yin yang fish can represent the characters of yin and yang. From the white part on the left side, this is a yang, but in the yang we got the dark spots, the black spots. So from here we can see the yin and yang within yin and yang, which means you can find yin within yang. This part is yang. You can find the yin in yang. You can find the yang in yin. This part on the right side, that's yin. This part is yin. So you can, that's the yin yang within yin yang. They are not fully separate. You can find something opposite within yin or yang. The mutual transformation. At 12 o'clock, the yang or the yin. So here, if from this view, if you see 12 o'clock and noon, that's 12 o'clock in early morning. If we see from this direction, 12 o'clock and noon, the yin started to accumulate. So until 6 o'clock, still the daytime, that's yin during the day. And after, in the evening, at 12 o'clock, the yin reached its peak. And from early morning, the yang started to accumulate. At 12 o'clock, it started to accumulate. And then from here, at 12 o'clock in the and noon, the yang reached its peak. So that's why we keep the yin yang fish. That's also why we use the yin and yang fish to explain the characters of yin and yang. The difference due to compare objects. Different objects, as we said, the yin and yang, we need to, when we talk about one object, there's no yin or yang. We have to talk to two, interrelated. They have to be some relationship. For example, he says that the male is yang, female is yin. Male is yang, female is yin. However, if you change the objects that you are comparing from this image, two males When you compare with two males, the taller male, the taller brother is yang, the shorter brother is yin. So when you compare with here, you will see that this male is yang, however, this kid is yin, but both of them are male. So the yin and yang of specific objects will be changed, will be determined by the objects that you are comparing to. So these are the relativities of yin and yang. We use the time as an example. You also can see the different phenomena in the nature or around you. For example, the mutual transformation of yin and yang, water and ice. When the water transforms into ice, that's yin and yang. When compared with the ice, in terms of the temperature, the ice is yin, the water is yang. In terms of the how hot they are, the ice is yang, the water is yin. So they can mutually transform into each other. Yin yang with yin yang. How do you know, or how can you, why you think about the yin yang with yin yang? Is it a common law in the world? For example, when you see this flame from a match, the fire, when you see the fire here, can you see something here? It's the dark part. So from this point of view, we say that there is a dark part in the bright part. That's yin yang. As we mentioned, that the water is yin and night is yin. However, if you go to the beach at night, you might see this. That's yang, very bright. The bright in yin and night. That's yang in yin. So as you can see, yin yang within yin yang. These are common laws in the nature. That's also why we say that Chinese medicine is a natural medicine. It's not because we use herbs. It's not because we use acupuncture. We don't use chemicals. As we mentioned previously, we do use chemicals in some situations. However, why we said we are natural medicine? Because we use the laws that we learned from the nature. All examples that we have mentioned are from nature, are from something you can see around you. And we learn from there, we apply these laws to analyze human health. The content of Yin Yang theory includes the opposition of Yin and Yang, interdependence of Yin and Yang, waning and waxing of Yin and Yang, intertransformation of Yin and Yang, equilibrium of Yin and Yang, and Yin Yang within Yin Yang. Some of these contents we have introduced in the previous slides. And also you can see from these different terms, some of them you may feel confused. The reason is because we see the phenomenon from different points of view. The opposition of yin and yang. This refers to the absoluteness of yin and yang. Day and night, cold and hot, the sky and the grounds, the sky and the earth, the sky and the grounds. They're absolutely different, yin or yang. So this describes the opposition of yin and yang. The interdependence of yin and yang. This refers to the relationship between yin and yang as they can develop along each other. For example, from spring to summer, the weather become warmer and warmer. However, in the meantime, the rain become more and more. So the temperature and then the rain the temperature becomes warmer and warmer, that's yang. So from spring to summer, yang is developing. In the meantime, we got more rain. Rain is the water that's yin. So yin is developing. From this perspective, that we understand that yang and yin can develop along each other. When we see patients, when a patient suffers from axons deficiency or qi deficiency, so if a patient suffers from yang deficiency, they don't have enough yang, or a patient suffers from yin deficiency. So, for example, a patient suffers from qi deficiency, or suffers from axons deficiency. Apart from tonifying the qi, tonify the yang itself, you also can tonify the yin. So a patient suffers from qi deficiency, we can tonify the qi. We also can tonify the axons, because the yang deficiency, if you want to improve the yang, you can tonify, you can improve the yang directly. You also can improve the yin, because the yang will be developed along with the yin. If we have more yin in the body, the yang also will be developed. So that's how we use this theory to apply in our practice, interdependence. The waning and waxing of yin and yang. Let's describe it as the opposites. One is increased, the other one reduced. For example, from winter to spring and summer, the weather from winter to spring and summer to summer. So the weather becomes warmer, from cold to hot. From this point of view, the coldness reduces, the warmer, the hot increase. The temperature from winter to summer, the temperature, the weather becomes warmer, the temperature from cold to hot. From this, the cold reduces, the hot increase. So from here, when you compare with the coldness and hot, the cold is yin, hot is yang. So from this perspective, you will see that once the yin reduces, the yang will increase. On the contrary, when the yang reduces, the yin can increase. For example, from summer to winter, from hot to cold, the yang decrease, yin increase. So yin and yang has this kinds of characteristics. Apart from so these two are the characteristics of yin and yang, the waning and waxing. One reduce, the other one increase, or they increase together or reduce together. For example, from spring and summer, the weather becomes warmer, the rain, we have more rain, so that's the increasing together. The temperature increase, the rain increase, the yang increase, the yin increase as well. From autumn and winter, the weather becomes cooler and colder, we have less rain. So once the temperature reduces, that's the yang reduce, and less rain, the yin also reduce. So these are all different characteristics of yin and yang, waning and waxing. Intertransformation of yin and yang. At certain stage, that's the yin and yang may transform into opposite parts. For example, from summer to winter, the nature will transform into from different seasons. The climate will change according to the seasons. That's the intertransformation from spring to summer to autumn and to winter. So these changes should be gradually changes. So that's the law of the nature. The changes, these transformation should happen gradually. If it happens suddenly, it will cause damage. For example, in normal situation, from summer to autumn to winter, the gradual developments, the nature will be healthy, the human will be healthy. However, in summer, now we are in summer with in a very hot weather. Sometimes, especially in Joburg, we have hailstorms. After hailstorm, the weather become cold, and also the hail. The hails, you can see the damages after the hailstorm. So the sudden transformation will cause imbalance of yin and yang. The imbalance of yin and yang will result in damages. That also will happen in our human health. These we also can see from the medical field. For example, patients suffer from heart failure. The patient may have difficulty breathing, tachypnea, high fever. However, after a while, or even after the treatment, or if the patient develop into a worse stage, the patient may be quiet afterwards. In this situation, from fever, tachypnea, difficulty breathing, from a yang symptoms or yang syndrome to a yin syndrome, quiet. This is not a good sign for the patient. So that's the sudden changes. So as you can see, we use all these theory to explain the nature, to explain the phenomenon that we see from our practice. These can help us to analyze the development, especially the development trend of the disease. Does the patient develop into a favorable trend or unfavorable trend? Is the disease become better or worse? So it can analyze from this point of view. The equilibriums of yin and yang, this is actually similar to the balance of yin and yang. So yin and yang, they need to be equally the same or similar. When we introduce the application in Chinese medicine or in the medical field, we will have the specific example of the balance. The volume of yin and yang, they're supposed to be the same. When we understand the Yin and Yang theory, especially when we understand the content of Yin and Yang theory, you will see that whenever we talk about Yin or Yang, we mention Yang or Yin, which means Yin and Yang are always together. So if you use this theory to explain, to analyze the phenomena in a society, you also will see some common law that's in a society. For example, here as you can see this image, the one on the right side, this image, you see the sun. However, you also see the shade. You see the sun, you see the shade. So that's yin and yang. They will happen together. When we see from the society, for example, now in South Africa, we always say the corruption. That's a very common topic and very hot topic in South Africa. Everyone don't like corruption. Everyone want to have a society without corruption. So when you see from this point of view, corruption or something bad, that's yin. A good person to make the country better, that's yang. Is it possible to have a society without corruption? So that's the question for you. You may think about, is it possible to have a society without corruption? The answer is it is not possible, because yin and yang will always together. Someone behave badly, there will be someone behave very good. So this is the law of yin and yang. It doesn't mean we don't want to change, but that's the law of the nature. We cannot change. All what we can do is to adapt to the law, to apply to the law, to adapt to the law. So if you see from this point of view, you will be very peaceful for the society. All what you want to do, you want to behave good, you want to behave as the yang, because if you behave as the yang, behave good, the society will be better. However, you should not pursue a society without bad. If you see from this point of view, you will be very peaceful. You won't complain anything, because that's the law of the nature. As you can see, now we use the Yin and Yang theory to analyze the phenomena in the society. So as we study these theories, try to think in your way, try to use these theory to analyze the different phenomena around you. For example, another example is the day and night. The day is yang, the night is yin. People always want to exercise, especially for the young adults. They don't have time during the day, so they exercise at night. Is it healthy to exercise at night? So that's the question for you. You may think about this question and tell me why. The balance, equilibrium of yin and yang. They need to balance yin and yang. They need to share the same volume. The yin yang within yin yang, we have explained from the perspective of 24 hours. For example, from early morning and noon and early evening, the development of yang accumulates to the peak, and from 12 o'clock, the yin started to accumulate. So that's the peak of yang. So technically, we say that the morning is the yang in yang, the afternoon is the yin in yang. That's yin yang with yin yang. Similar phenomenon you also can see from the movement of the moon, as well as the movement of the earth and the sun. On a new moon, start to accumulate, start to reduce to a full moon. That's also, as you can see from here, as the yin accumulates, the yang reduce. As the yang accumulates, the yin reduce. So that's very important. You need to understand that the relationship between yin and yang. After studying the yin and yang theory, please try to find some examples around you and try to analyze from yin and yang theory. In this video, we have introduced the Yin and Yang theory, as well as the characteristics of Yin and Yang theory. In the next video, we are going to discuss the application of Yin Yang theory in Chinese medicine. Thank you for your attention.